Hello, welcome to the Philosophical Podcast. My name is Jordan, and today I'm joined by Lou and Luca.
Hello.
Good evening. Hello.
And today we are doing a very special episode of the Philosophical Podcast. Basically, the year hasn't ended yet. Was it December 2nd when we were recording this?
Second.
It's like the last issue. This week was the last issue of Shonen Jump. Next week is like issue 1 again. So like when they start their year per se. So we thought we'd take this time to go over the manga we've been reading this year from Shonen Jump and say like our favourite moments, favourite characters and stuff from this year and like just our general thing. So want to go over first. We are going to try and keep this reasonably spoiler free, but for the sections we talk about like we're going to have like a section. So the 3 series, 4 if you count Burn the Witch, but the 3 series we're mainly going to be talking about is One Piece, My Hero, and JJK. We haven't read series like Chainsaw Man, or
It's on the list.
Yeah, it's on the list. I do want to read it. But yeah, those are the 3 series we've read. So we're going to be talking about them mainly, and in their sections, which we will timestamp in either in the description or it should be in like the video time bar. Our sections talking about those series. So in those sections will be full on, like, spoilers, anything. But if you don't want to say, if you've read My Hero but you don't want to hear spoilers for JJK or One Piece, then you can just skip to the My Hero part. And then we're going to have a verdict at the end, which we're going to try and keep spoiler free. Hopefully we will. Hopefully don't mess up.
But we do not live in an ideal world,
no.
And mistakes happen.
But we should keep it spoiler free. Like, we're just going to basically be like, oh, this moment, and we won't go too into detail about it, kind of thing. We hopefully would have spoke about it in the section about that series. But yes, other than that, also, the first part that I want to do, I actually didn't go through this with you, Lou. I was meant to tell you that I wanted to do this bit.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah.
As per usual.
But I wanted to start this podcast with talking about series that have, let's say, passed on or moved on.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
I've got a whole list.
Well. Yeah. Well, I just want to say, like, okay, first of all, we haven't read it, but we love the series because we watched the anime. Congratulations, like, to Haikyuu. Obviously, it finished this year, like a 9 year run, something like that. We love the series. The only reason I haven't read it is because we're doing those reactions. I want to keep it, like, genuine and stuff. But my God, I want to read it. I love that series. If anything, I really regret only getting into it something like last year, So
late on.
Maybe it was this year. Oh no, it was last year, I think.
No, it was last year.
It was last year for me, wasn't it?
Because we started watching it in last year at uni.
Yeah.
We watched the first 3 episodes, and then we watched it properly. You watched it properly with me this year.
Yeah, that's what I thought, because I rewatched it with you, didn't
during
I?
lockdown. During the first lockdown, we watched it.
But yeah, it's such a good series. For anyone who hasn't watched it, I fully recommend it. Can't believe it finished, to be honest. But I mean, for a sports series, I think it's it's one of the best ever. And popularity-wise and sales-wise, one of the most successful, I should say, more than best ever. That's opinion.
Yeah.
But I mean, it done so well, so I thought it was worth a mention. But more that we're going to talk about of series that are fast on. My personal series that I'm still kind of not over was Time Paradox Ghostwriter. Yeah,
I knew that was coming.
I still don't understand how that series got cut, man. But I can and I can't, right? I have a thing that I feel like it was the wrong kind of series for Shonen Jump. But man, I thought I was getting a supernatural Bakuman series. I was so hyped for that series. I thought there was so much potential there. I feel like because obviously, as we've talked about it before, but how there are so many big hitters now in Shonen Jump, with Black Clover.
Cutthroat, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so cutthroat. Like 13 chapters, man. And to me, that was a really good start it had as well, especially for a series like that, right? I really thought it had a lot of potential. So I was gutted about that. The plot twists in it were really good. And it was starting to get into a bit where, you're kind of beginning to start understand the supernatural part of it. And then they just ended it, and it was like, oh, okay.
Here you go. Here's the last chapter.
Yeah, there was so much potential, in Bakuman. So, Bakuman's a series about someone creating manga,
Yeah, I know
right,
the one.
kind of thing. Time Paradox Ghostwriter
Yeah.
obviously had 2 mangakas as well, and there's so many cool
Yeah.
bits of Bakuman where you see like each author's work and stuff, and like you get to like read a chapter of that person's work and stuff, kind of thing. Like who all obviously fictional characters, and I thought that we'd have moments like that in this series. Like I just thought it had so much potential. Well, obviously it didn't work out. I'm gutted, but obviously other series that have passed on, like Tokyo Shinobi School was this year, right? And then Bone Collection was another series you read?
No.
Was it last year
Tokyo Shinobi School was last year, because it was when we were in Japan.
Did it get cancelled when we was in Japan? I thought it wasn't.
Yeah, because I thought that's why I bought the Japanese volume, because it was cancelled.
No, I didn't think it was cancelled. I don't think it was cancelled then, because you were like, oh, I wanted to get the first volume just because it only just come out there. Like the first volume only just released there when we got there.
Let me double check when the last chapter came out. The last chapter came out in 8th of December 2019, so it was last year.
That is literally, I shit you not, that is volume 1 of Shonen Jump this year.
Yeah.
That is volume 1.
Oh, okay.
Like,
yeah, so
or like how
technically,
it
yes, it passed away this year.
Yeah, or like this series of Shonen Jump magazines.
In this year's.
But yeah, to be honest, I didn't think it was later than that. I thought it was like beginning of this year. But
no, yeah, that passed away this year.
But yeah, what did you think?
I've sort of said how I felt about that.
Yeah, well, that was fucking ages ago.
Like
when
I
did
said,
we last?
like I've said it before. Like I liked the character designs, and I liked sort of the world and the environment and everything, but it had no real substance to it.
You can get why that was.
I started reading it at a time when, like, for me, last year was when I only started reading manga then, because I read 1,000 Year Blood War, and I was reading Tokyo Ghoul.
Mm-hmm. Good series.
And then after that, I was like, I want to read more.
Yeah.
So then I was like, oh, let me read something that's new.
Yeah.
But then I didn't know at the time. You don't realize at the time that, like, oh crap, like you can start reading something, and in like 2 months' time, that's it. Done. It's gone.
That's Shonen Jump.
So
that's Shonen, baby.
Yeah, like that's it. But at the time, because I was only really like you. Obviously, I was only really watching anime with you, and I hadn't really read much manga before that. Like, so I didn't realize that's actually what it was like when you actually like delve in deeper into that sort
of thing. Yeah. Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
As you said before, very cutthroat. Like.
Yeah. So like. I liked the way everything looked, but in terms of like actual substance, I don't feel like it had much like body to a story.
Yeah,
it was literally just cool looking characters.
When it's running with a series like One Piece, My Hero, and stuff, why it kind of got cut,
exactly.
Like,
why that one got cut?
Yeah,
it's like we've said it before. Like you really have to like hit, and if you're a slower burning series, I feel like you have to have it's tough. But you really have to hook them. Like you have to say, "This is what I've got coming," and they have to think that this is like massive.
Mm-hmm.
But it was okay. It was alright.
What about
I had Bone Collection, which was Bone Collection was. I felt like I enjoyed Bone Collection more.
Yeah,
because I found it funny, but it was still maybe a little bit weird. But again,
a bit too out there, or like a bit too. Much,
not a bit too out there. I felt like it was funny, but I felt like again maybe like I don't know where the story was going. Like the premise of the powers, I think are really really cool. Like that she's basically like, I mean, does it matter if I spoil it? I mean,
no,
ended anyway.
No.
Well,
we'll put
like I remember saying before.
Bone Collection.
She's basically like a Shinigami, and she's like one of the highest ranked Shinigami, whatever. Like demons, something from a different realm. Yeah. Like, and obviously he's like an exorcist sort of thing.
Yeah.
And she wants to become human, and the way she becomes human is by, she's a yokai. Yeah, she's like Shinigami yokai. The way she becomes human is he has to use all of her bones to become human, and he's like one of the only people that can use the spell that it's like a yokai spell that can basically use their power. If that makes sense. No, so it's like, so the premise of the powers were really cool.
Yeah, that was really.
But again, I'm like, where was the story going other than the fact that like he had to use her bones?
Like it's all good.
Like there was no real like.
So tough.
Like, it is like where is it going? And we don't know. It might have been. I don't know. It might have been going somewhere, but it wasn't going there quick enough for Shonen.
Yeah.
they're like, well, you're a newer series, and we need you to get there quicker.
Yeah.
So, but that's the way it is.
Isn't it? Because
But yeah, they were both enjoyable to read at the times. But then when I'm reading Jujutsu Kaisen currently now, and I'm reading One Piece, and you're reading My Hero, and you're like, wow, these are like
tough.
They're all, and especially them three, like we said, they're all in massive arcs at the minute. Like some of the biggest. Well, for My Hero, it's the biggest arc we've had so far, and it's the same with Jujutsu Kaisen. Like they're so huge. Like One Piece has had big arcs before, but this is like we had Marineford before, and this is like
this
Luffy's.
Is the closest to the New World, isn't it? Like I'd say, it's being
this
like,
is it.
As big as Marineford type of thing. I might
Marineford, So. And Oda said that himself, like, this is like the Marineford. Yeah. So,
but
it's hard when you're reading them series, like we've said. So,
so tough. And like you said,
we also had
it's hard as well, like, because you know, it must be tough, and like you come up with like such a unique concept and like premise and stuff, but then your story just ain't hitting, and then you lose it because of that. You know what I mean? That's tough, man. Like.
And I credit people like Kubo and stuff like that who have had multiple works because, like.
Yeah.
Say the people that did Shinobi Squad and someone that did Bone Collection, he's become like he's created that story because he wants to have his manga in Shonen Jump.
Yeah.
Once you get it in Shonen Jump, they cancel it. You're like, oh fuck! Like, imagine how much that must hurt because that's what you've tried to achieve.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm guessing that's the pinnacle for them. Like, that's top tier.
Like,
if you get it in that, Kubo, that's the higher echelon of.
Kubo really struggled after Zombie Powder.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So you have to credit him for keep going. You have to have such determination to try again.
Yeah.
Like some people might do it once and be like, "Oh well, I don't want that rejection again. I don't want to pour my heart into something and then it just be cancelled." Yeah,
it is very hard work.
You can take, like you were saying about his art though, that it was good and the character designs were.
Yeah, you can take positives from it. But I was just looking, and the thing is that for Tokyo Shinobi Squad, it was the art was done by someone different to the story. So the guy who's the artist could probably get more work because his art might have been unique and it looked cool. But the guy who wrote the story, he might be like, oh.
What about the Bone Collection guy? Did he do everything?
I'll double check.
Because like
it was done by two people, but I don't. Oh no, that's I accidentally clicked on Time Paradox.
Just as like personally a big Horikoshi fan, I know that Horikoshi had like 4 or 5 previous works that got.
No, it was done by the same person.
No, really.
The guy who done Bone Collection was done by it was all done by him. It was Jun.
Well, you never know. He might come back.
True.
They have got a big chance. Once they're in, they've got another chance. It's just like as we
it depends if they're young. It depends how old they are.
Yeah, of course.
Like if they're already like 40.
That's the thing. Even for a series, right? Like Bone Collection, Time Paradox, anything. That's not that guy's first attempt, you know. Like they've really tried to get into that magazine. That's the thing. Like so many drafts and stuff will get rejected. Completely different ideas. It's a tough game. Like we said, we can't really comprehend it. But fucking hell, man, it's hard. Like, and I've seen I've watched documentary stuff about like how long hours these mangakas and stuff work, especially ones that are just starting out.
That's why they get ill.
It's why, it's why they get ill and stuff. That's why this stuff kind of happens to them. Because obviously they're not like the most like active, because obviously what they're doing and stuff. But fucking hell, man, the hours they work are insane.
I don't know about you. I was going to say there's 2 other. Obviously, we had 2 other series end as well this year that were bigger series.
Oh yeah,
because they reached the end. You had Promised Neverland not end this year, and
of course,
Demon Slayer.
Yeah, Demon Slayer. I don't know if I forget to mention Demon Slayer. I feel like I mention that every fucking week, but yeah. It's funny enough.
It's because we're usually talking about how well it's selling in box office.
Yeah, as usual, Demon Slayer fans can't shut up. In terms of like, I saw another spoiler today for the epilogue chapter.
Brilliant.
But it was like, it was whatever. But it was like, of course, yeah, that hasn't even come out yet, and I've got spoiled for it. Fantastic, Demon Slayer.
Yeah. But they ended this year as well.
Yeah, I mean, fucking Demon Slayer's still going crazy. I'm sure we'll be talking about that before the end of the year as well. But yeah, okay. Anyway, just wanted to give a shout out to them short series that we enjoyed this year, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I still miss Time Paradox Ghostwriter. I hope that guy comes back with something new and something that's more, I guess. Well, I kind of liked it, but something more, I guess, that will do well in Shonen, so I get to see it go on for longer. But okay, so shall we get into our main series? that we want to talk about this year. So, firstly, we're going to be chatting about One Piece. So, one thing, obviously, brilliant year for One Piece, I'd say, in my opinion. It's very opinionated because I know a lot of people on Twitter and that really are not enjoying Wano, right? But
also,
I'm going to say,
this is the spoiler section, remember? So
of course, yeah. This is from here on. This is pure One Piece spoilers.
Beware, this is.
Yeah, if you're not up to date with One Piece, then please switch off now or move on to the designated section that should be in the timestamps below. But yes. Right. I don't know where to start with this. Like, I don't know whether to just jump into the favourite bits and stuff like that, or whether to.
We could do favourite bits off. We could start off with favourite characters or favourite chapters.
Yeah. I mean, overview of the year real quick. Like, I'm just gonna say, like, I mean, first chapter of the year was fucking insane. Like the that was literally. For anyone that doesn't know, like, well, first chapter of like issue 1 of Shonen Jump for 2020. I don't know what one it was. I can't remember. Like, but I know the first chapter of 2020, like January 6th or 8th, 267, I believe it was Goldie Rogers' laugh tool chapter, and Jesus Christ, man! Like, what a chapter to start with, man! Like. How can you? And the fact that this year that's coming up, chapter 1000 might be the first chapter of 2021 from what people were predicting. So to have 2 years starting off like that, like, oh my god! And then obviously we got the rest of the Odin flashback. Incredible moments in that, like my name is Kazuki Odin and I was born to boil, iconic. And then we got obviously the reunion of the samurai Luffy and then Law and Kid. And then we had just all the moments up till now of like Onigashima and stuff, like Kaido, Yamato, so much to go over. But yeah, why don't we just start off? Right, we'll start off with like our favourite character of like this year, I suppose. Who do you think's performed the best this year? I mean, we can have the same one because I feel like we might. I don't know if I've got recency bias right now, but I'm going Zoro, right? Like, because even though obviously his pinnacle was the last chapter, right? But just in general, like, it's just been his arc, and like seeing him again, and like what he's done this year and stuff is just mad. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of him, like, again. Because everyone's had like unless I start talking about I don't know, actually maybe Odin, like straight up.
Yeah.
Like
even Kaido.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. Kaido is a massive shout. Like
you could say Kaido.
Yeah. You know what? Maybe I'm going to change mine to Odin. I think. Now I think about it, that bit was so good. Like the end of his flashback and stuff. I feel like because every character's had a moment, but like, it's been moments here and there, kind of thing. Not a consistent thing. I think Zoro's been one of the most consistent, and like we've been waiting so long, and we got the kind of what's the word? We got the reward at the end of it with that recent chapter and what we think's coming. Kaido, like you say, that is a brilliant shout. He's been consistent all year, and like whereas at the beginning of the year I really liked him, right, for being what he is and OP and that, but I love him so much more now after this year. Like seeing how much more of a character he is and stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna stick with mine. I think I'm gonna go with Odin actually. What's everyone else's? Who do you think performed best this year out of the characters?
Lou, you can go first.
Thanks, Luca. Thanks.
Unless you're not ready, in which case I'll go first.
I've got a few. I think Zoro is definite one of them. I think he's had a lot of good moments this year. But I see, damn it, Jordan. I think I'd go Kaido. But I also want to say, I know it's not technically all this year, but we've seen how it ended this year.
Right.
Maybe Momonosuke. Right. Maybe. Fair. Just because we saw how he first turned up in like Dressrosa.
Yeah.
And how much he's grown and all of the interaction that he's had with Luffy, and Luffy trying to like teach him to be like more of a man and become a leader.
Yeah,
And
yeah. And we've seen like
I feel like we've finally seen like where all of that's gone. Like some of the like heartfelt moments he's had with Luffy and stuff like that. I feel like maybe, but then again, he's not really been consistent. That's why I'd say he's more of like an honorable mention.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think Kaido would probably be, if I'm talking about the most consistent character for having
like 20,
big
20 up to
moments.
now.
I think him.
Yeah,
I think him definitely.
It's just a great shout. I think he's had a lot of good development and just moments.
Yeah.
So makes sense.
Before, like long ago, let's say last year, we all knew, you know, Kaido was deemed the strongest man in the world. But like now we've seen it.
And just he's more charismatic than I thought he would be, or like especially in recent chapters.
Yeah.
Kind of
he's not just big man go
vibe. Yeah. A whole different vibe when reading it. It's a whole different experience. Yeah. Now that we've seen, you know, the man that is the strongest.
Yeah. Definitely. Ever since he absolutely drops Luffy, like you're like, oh crap! Like that was actually like easy for him.
Yeah.
And he's just so cool. And it's not just him wanting to be the strongest, and like he's actually got a plan to everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way that he used Orochi, like we saw a lot more of him than just he's actually got brains. It's not just let me be the strongest man in the world.
Mm-hmm.
He actually has more of a goal than that.
Yeah.
Which was good to see.
That's fair enough. That's understandable. So you go with Kaido. Let's finalise decision.
Kaido.
Kaido. Understandable.
I could lead into a tangent about Kaido, but we'll do that after.
Okay, yeah.
No, this is tough because I wanted to mention Kaido because I feel that's a great shout, and I also wanted to mention Zoro because that's also a great shout.
Yeah.
It
was mainly when I remembered that like for me in this whole arc, like Wano and Onigashima and that, Zoro's been my favourite, right? He has.
Thing.
But this year, actually, when I thought, oh shit, it's only going back to the flashback and the end, it's tough kind of thing. And I realised how much of an impact Odin made, and I was like, it's got to be Odin.
Yeah.
But, like for me, but Kaido as well is the most consistent, I think, performer. I think that's a brilliant show.
Okay, so I'm going to do a similar thing.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be the guy that shouts out Kid because I love Kid.
Of course. I didn't even say Law. I was being
non-biased. It's not my pick. It's not my pick.
Oh, I was actually going to say,
I
was going to say, I bet you a $5. He says Kid. I was actually going to say, I bet you a $5.
Kid is my honourable mention because I love him. And all the little bits I just appreciate so much. So he's my honourable mention. But my pick is actually Yamato.
That's understated.
Yeah. She's come in and straight away, like so many impactful moments.
That is true. For how long she's been in it, like probably she probably got introduced about halfway through the year, something like that as well.
Yeah.
And she's had, as you say, she's had so many big moments. Man.
She's so different to Kaido.
And there's still so much to look forward to with Yamato, like in terms of like
she's going to be in it a lot longer than just this. I feel like.
I hope you're right.
Yeah. So Yamato, obviously, we've seen her save Mononosuke.
Yeah.
And she stormed the room with Kaido and Big Mom side by side with Luffy as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she took on is it Sasuke?
Sasaki. Yeah.
Sasaki, that's it.
You know what? Right, sorry. Tangent off a bit. The only reason I remember that name is because that was the main character of Time Paradox Ghostwriter. That's the only reason I remember that geezer's name.
Shameless plug.
A shameless plug. Please read it, even though it has a shit ending.
Petition to bring it back.
Bring it back, yeah. The one signature of me.
Jordan's going to fund it himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's just had so many powerful moments.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
she's like you said, Lou. She's set up to have, or Jordan. She's set up to have so many more as well.
Yeah.
If she doesn't join the crew and become the Odin of
I don't know who
this timeline,
I don't know who I want to join the
is
crew
just-
after this arc, right? Like, because I feel like someone should, right? Other than Jinbei, which obviously was.
we want Carrot.
I want Carrot, yeah.
But like, yeah, I feel like we're.
But what if we had Yamato and Carrot?
That ain't happening.
That would be good.
Hold the phone.
I don't think so.
That ain't happening.
No.
No,
The
it's not
crew
happening.
does
But we
need
can.
a better ratio, to be fair.
Yeah. I feel like that is true.
Simpover.
I feel like it's a tough
Sanji
one.
dies
Right?
of blood loss theory.
Yeah, fucking probably. It's tough in it because actually, like, because I thought at this point we would go to tangent off a bit about like as an example, like, everyone's got a role in that crew, right? And I thought with Jinbei we were starting to tangent off a bit like that with that, but actually even he's got a role now. He's the helmman.
Yeah, he's the helmman.
Yeah, like everyone else.
He steers.
Yeah, like I always just assumed Frankie of that because he did before now. But no, he's like, like, he's the carpenter. He's the thing of the crew.
He fixes it all.
He fixes it, yeah. So he's a shipwright. That's the word I was thinking of. Sorry, that's the one. Yeah, he's a shipwright. So you got so now the helmet. I'm like, but I don't know what Kara or Yamato would do. Like,
see, with Yamato, because like when we first met her, she mentioned that she knew Ace and that Ace promised her he would come back.
Yeah,
that's why.
So like by going with Luffy, it kind of like keeps Ace alive in a sense, you know.
Do you know what?
Actually, I just thought of something else. Honorable mention for characters: Juice from the One Piece novel.
What Ace novel? Yeah, I need to read volume 2.
Yeah,
that's good.
He's an honorable mention for a good character this year.
I Can't Fear More Part 2 got dispatched today. We Move, boys. That's coming out. I can't wait.
Oh, I've started Jordan off.
Oh,
crap! Let's head back to Yamato.
Yeah, back to Yamato.
It's Suka as well from that Ace novel as well.
Oh,
that
yes.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Really hope that gets.
If you haven't read the Ace novel, read the Ace novel.
Yeah. Nozzle.
Yeah.
Not nozzle. Novel.
That's just like Tendo dogs or Ten dogs.
No, we're not doing that today.
Dog Tendo. That's what it was.
Yeah. Sometimes it just be like that. Let's move past.
Move past. Stop being so childish. What was it?
Yeah, Yamato's my pick for character
fair.
of the year in One Piece.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think it's a good pick. I was going to go.
Is there anything that we haven't said that we'd? Any other characters we feel like?
Oh, there's loads of characters.
Do you think? Could you say Kamaimon? Kamaimon's had a lot of good parts this year.
Kamaimon's been pretty sick. Yeah, I'd say so. I think he's been pretty good all of Wano, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not just this year, but I do agree. Like probably his best moments this year, though. Garrett, like,
if we reworded it to say like your favorite characters, then I'd say like I really like Denjiro, the samurai, but he's not had like the same moments that any of the others that we've said. Like in terms of the best character and impact.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
So.
I still like the Kappa guy.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh. Anyway.
Yeah, right. He's good.
So, we got our favourite characters finalised, kind of thing. So that's our favourite characters from One Piece for the year. I'd say our best performing characters. And to be honest, I think that's a pretty solid lineup. Next, I'm going to go with like, what's better to go with favourite chapter or favourite moment? I don't know.
The thing is your favourite chapter could have your favourite moment.
Oh yeah, it can do. It can do.
Yeah.
So it's kind of exactly. So we could just say our favourite chapter. And it could be that it has our favourite moment in it. Because the majority of the time, that's why it's going to be our favourite chapter.
Mine differs a little bit, but I know what you mean. Like, for majority of the other series, but One Piece is the only one I'm different with. But
yeah, it's different. Yeah. It is different. Because a chapter is an experience from start to finish, whereas, like, a moment could be the last page of like like
literally how I leave
average chapter.
It's like when One Piece leave it on a cliffhanger and then you see the outcome of it the next chapter, but the outcome is probably your favourite chapter because you saw it, but it wasn't the reveal.
Yeah. Okay, we'll
best moment
we'll do.
But if it is, like, as you say, a majority of the time it is the same. So like
no. We'll do with One Piece. We'll do it that way.
I'm making sure I've got the right chapter real quick. Yeah, I have. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's a shout.
So my favourite chapter for One Piece this year was the first chapter of the year, as I mentioned before. It started off with a banger. Chapter 967 was probably my favourite chapter of the year. The flashback of Goldie Roger. and finally us kind of the closest we got to seeing like laughter and stuff. And we got that iconic panel, the Roger just laughed panel, and and we got the whole Joy Boy thing. As I said, the closest we've got, we figure out why Buggy and that couldn't see it. We see more of like the poneglyphs and Odin going around with it. It's just a chapter that, as a general, the One Piece fan base has been waiting years for. That whole flashback is saying that One Piece fan base has been waiting years upon years for. But that one to me was just really special. Like that panel will never leave me, I'm pretty sure. So that's my favourite chapter of the year for One Piece.
Okay.
But that's probably my favourite. Yeah. Anyway, do you guys have your favourite chapters down or not? Because if not, then don't worry about it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I do.
I kind of just. So I've changed my favourite chapter, and I think I'm going to go with One Piece 985.
985.
So, in that chapter, we find out about Kanjuro.
Oh, yeah.
Kanjuro being the traitor. We meet Yamato, and she says who she is.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we see also hear that Big Mom and Kaido have joined Alliance.
Yeah.
And then at the end, we see Kaido.
That was a mad chapter, yeah.
So I think that might be my favourite chapter.
We didn't find out then though about Kanjuro, did we? We found out before then.
Yeah. So it's the fight with him.
Oh
so
yeah, they fight him.
Starts off.
Yeah.
And they has the whole discussion about like I've been betraying you the whole time.
The only reason I know that is because the moment I'm going to mention, that's when you find out about Kanjuro, and I was like, I swear that's before.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do on the ship. But do you know who turns up at that point in the bit that we're talking about?
Yeah.
Izo.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
From Whitebeard.
Good appearance.
So
Such a good year.
I think that'd be my favourite chapter.
But yeah, so 985.
We see them absolutely wipe Kanjuro. Yeah, 985.
Yeah, that is beautiful.
Yamato.
No one likes Kanjuro.
So yeah, I think that'd be my favourite chapter. And then I was wrong. We saw what happened with Orochi. He ain't coming back.
You know what,
if he is, he's making a late appearance now. I think that's one of the first chapters we reviewed on this channel, you know? Only because it was
I remember making that thumbnail, like with Kaido and Big Mom.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a massive chapter. Yeah, that's a great shout.
Right.
What about you, Luca?
I have two that I'm sort of torn between, so I'm going to give one as an honourable mention, and then I think I've picked on the other.
Yeah, I understand.
So, honourable mention very quickly is 981, which had the reappearance of Marco.
Yeah.
Damn it, that was my favourite moment.
Hey, no spoilers.
And
no, go over it.
Kid's confrontation with Apu as well.
Yeah.
And then you also had like Kid, Luffy, Zoro, and Killer all running through the palace together, which was just very
This
cool.
was also when Izo, we got the little sneak peek, wasn't it, of Izo and Cat Viper. Oh yeah, good chapter. That's another fine chapter. It's a good year.
I think critically, my favourite chapter of the year is 993, which was
quite a recent one.
Yeah, so it's kind of like also sad because it's the chapter in which Kiku's arm got taken off.
But yeah,
the reason I love this chapter so much is Kaido. Kaido.
Yeah, we got so much from him that chapter, and like the chapters coming after that as well, and just before it. Like I was just peak Kaido we've seen. I'd say that was brilliant.
Yeah, the way he switched it up and the monologue he gave was so powerful.
Yeah,
it chills. And then the chapters after that, we had some. Just shout out to Oda as well for the way he draws Kaido, both in Dragon and
he loves it, doesn't he?
Yeah.
It's sick. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, he loves drawing.
993 for me.
Yeah, that's understandable. I think that's some solid lists. You boys even reminded me how good this fucking year's been for One Piece, man. But yeah, well, since we've already gone for our favourite chapters, let's just jump straight into our favourite moment. So my favourite moment, as you guys probably knew anyway, but it's 974. And it's the reunion of... Well, not the reunion. It is a reunion. But when Kid, Law, and Luffy all turn up together, and it's almost like the New World version of the Sabaody moment, which I have been waiting on for years, ever since Law turned up at Punk Hazard, and I'm like, shit, I want they got reunited. I'm like, I want a reunion with Kid as well. I want that Sabaody moment again, and we finally got it. And boy, was it good. And what a quote, eh? When you're on the sea, we fight like pirates. That is so hard, man.
Everything about that panel is just...
I mean,
like...
I was talking about it with you guys before and that, but like, you say, they come in, the new fits, ready for war. We're ready for like the war arc, and that's how they rock up. And
yeah, like this, wasn't this the first chapter after the Odin flashbacks had finished?
I think, it was like the first or second, because... Oh, yeah, of course it was, because the Odin flashback started, wasn't it? Because it was so frustrating, because I loved the Odin flashback, but it was at the time when we didn't know why Luffy and that didn't turn up. And then they turn up. Yeah. And then, obviously, that is true. And then, I think you were talking about it before we even start recording, Lou, about, like, how much it meant to, obviously, like, samurai in general.
The samurai were hurt.
Yeah,
they were like they thought that that's the bit where Kamaimon's like, I'm still going, even though it's suicide. He's like, I'm still going. Like,
can't give up.
And especially at that point in time, because that's when they knew that Kanjuro, like you said, they knew he was the thing, and I'm pretty sure he'd already taken Momonosuke at that point. Yeah. So they were going there to get Momonosuke back as well as kill Kaido.
Oh no, so Momonosuke was there, but he hadn't been taken. I think Kanjuro took him, didn't he? Later on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, was it later on? I thought he took him.
No, because it was... Oh, it might have been literally in that chapter, actually, in saying that, because it was when Kanjuro just turned. But they didn't set... They set off before that, though. I think.
Yeah.
But it has been a while since I've reread it, but I think so. But yeah, definitely, like, as you say, it meant so much for the samurai. It was like an emotional thing as well. And for me, personally, as if anyone doesn't know, I'm a massive Law stan. Right, and for so long, the big theory, I always believed in him, but the big theories, and it was becoming more and more like evident that the traitor, because before we didn't know it was Kanjuro, was it was going to be Law, because of the whole thing the panel we had before about him when Luffy and that got found out, and the plans got leaked, and everyone thought it was going to, like, the biggest, like, most odds-on favourite was it was going to be Law, and I was like, there's no way. And then, just for this chapter to deconfirm that, and for him to come in like that as well, it's probably one of my top Law moments as well. King. Like, it was so good. And I'm sure we're going to... and especially with the most recent chapter, Law's motivations getting reinstated as well. That's one of my favourite moments as well, because I'm waiting for that as well. I'm sure we're going to get...
his new goal.
Because for the whole thing, I was like, I was kind of like preparing myself for him to die this arc, Law. And he may still, right? But I have much more faith, and I'm so much more looking forward to it now than I was. I like to see him more in this arc.
I was going to say something just following on from Luca when we spoke about that chapter. So Luca says, like, I think maybe in the future Law could become the new dragon to Luffy. And the more I think about what he's going after, 100%. Because if he works out why that is why the D is so,
he could, because
he could be the most knowledgeable man in that like universe. And he could be the biggest threat to the Celestials.
I would.
So he might get headhunted. Like he might get head, and Kid's gonna be Whitebeard.
Yeah. Luffy is Roger. Yeah. That's your trio, your parallel.
I would be a very, very happy man.
Raging Zoro.
Oh yeah, definitely. They got the same scars. But no, what do you call it? Yeah, anyway, probably stay on that for too long for me. But what are your boys' favourite moments for One Piece before we wrap up One Piece?
I was just going to say the same as you, Jordan. To be fair,
that when they rock up, that's fair enough. No, that's a great moment.
Yeah,
that's understandable.
I am going to say Jordan's one is obviously, but he went first, so we'll let him have that.
Well, Luca just said it was the same, so
No, it is the same. It is, so we'll let him have that. But I think that selfishly, I like it when Marco turned up.
Marco was. Yeah.
For me, that's personally like a favorite moment. But I think
my favorite Marco moment was that recent one, well, not the most recent one.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
The one
with Big Mum
when he's fighting Big Mum, and some of the stuff he says in that is very interesting. Like, no, that's brilliant.
And then I think my other favorite moment, just because it has two really, really good bits back to back, is Momonosuke's speech. Because he says he's like, I can't remember who calls him Momo, but he said that Momo is a name that means second to none. My name is. He actually says his full name. He doesn't call himself Momo anymore, and I think that bit's really like he actually calls himself Kozuki. He's not Momonosuke. He thinks he's ready to actually take on the family name.
No, that
and then after that is the bit where Luffy and the samurai surprise everyone. They jump Kaido. So I think that bit, them two moments back to back, because it was sort of like Momonosuke's, because the samurai could hear him. It was sort of like a rally cry, it like really jeered them up, because they've all been like nurturing him so he could eventually be the shogun. And now they feel like now they see that he's ready. It boosted their spirits as well. So I think they're two of my other favorite moments. But yours is definitely, I think, the best moment of the year.
That was one of the peak One Piece moments. I agree. But that moments like the Momonosuke bit is what hooked me to One Piece in the first place, and is like
it's so wholesome.
Make One Piece like. No, it's brilliant moments. Shout out to go on.
So shout out to Ulti as well for absolutely watching Nami and Usopp.
Yeah, okay, I was going to talk about that moment as well. Honestly, look, boys, it ain't hard at this point, is it? Like, let's be real, we've got the monster trio, and that's about it.
Based on all of our like reactions and our reviews, everyone thinks we stan all villains. Like, that is it. My Hero, we want the villains to win. Luca's like, yes, get in ulti, you just killed, that basically murdered Usopp. And then in JJK, we're like, Mahito's actually sick.
Sukuna goated. That's for later.
It's like we don't want anyone to be happy. This is what we are. And in Attack on Titan, we want Eren to win. But this is ridiculous.
Bitch, I want Levi to win.
True.
No, but leading on to that moment, my other favourite moment I wanted to mention was like finally getting to see, in a non-comedic fashion, Nami say that, and actually stand up for Luffy and say he's going to be the Pirate King. Moments like that always get me. I think people make jokes about on Twitter how easily, like, One Piece fans, like, the minute one of the crew says something like that, it's like, you know, it just gets them going, or like it feeds them, and it's like, yeah, it does. Like,
it does, because it proves how much they love that man. And how much they back him. Like, it's not, they are willing to like die. Like, Nami was willing to die to say that he will never stop. Like, she put her life on the line to still stand by him. Like, it's their loyalty, isn't it? Their loyalty is unbelievable.
It's already beautiful, because you don't question it at all, but it's just when you hear him say something like that, it's like, in that kind of moment as well. Nami's such, like, she will say anything to get out of the situation, because if it was anything else, she would say anything, because, like, she survives that way. Even Usopp was saying it. But it is what it is. Like, when it comes to something like that, when someone says something like that, it's just special, man. It is special.
It's chills, isn't it? When that gets animated, it'll actually give you chills when you hear that.
No, oh yeah, it's, oh my god, like Usopp's moment, and even the Stampede film and that, like, man,
that's
moments
Usopp,
like that.
the MVP of that film.
He was, and and like, you know, they've all had.
And
moments
first
like
time we didn't even understand it. It was in Japanese, and we thought it was.
The flashback started coming on. I didn't know what was going on because it was in Japanese, and I still cried. Like, what the fuck? No, what was it? No. Brilliant, love the series. Have got to move on, unfortunately, because we spent a lot of time.
And we have two other series.
We have two other series we want to go over majorly. So yes, from here, we'll be talking about My Hero. So anyone who's not up to date with the current manga, then look away now, yes. Or skip to the next session if you want GJK, or skip to the end if you want to see the verdict.
And then hit like.
But yeah, I think this is Luca's section, let's be real here. I mean,
yeah.
Knife Rose can try. But, yeah, my hero this year has obviously been incredible. So.
Yeah, as someone who feels like he cannot compete with the two characters that you stan because you stan them so hard, it's basically been your two characters' season for a large part of this year.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
That's true.
So I feel like this is for you two to just take away.
this has been a fantastic year. I mean, well, you know what? I will start with let's get it on the roll kind of thing, because we already know what my answer is going to be for it. Favorite character of this year, right? Shigaraki. Done. Okay. Don't even need to explain it. Luca, get out, mate. Your man's been disabled for the last fucking 30 chapters, so get out. Anyway, go on, Luca. Who's your favourite for this year?
Okay, so let's first all ignore my profile picture. So close your eyes.
There's no bias
and then
here.
Once your eyes are closed, my favourite character of this year is Bakugo.
Shocker! Who saw that?
You didn't even call him Bakugo. You're actually a disgrace.
Yeah.
Maybe I could stand out.
Oh my god. I do all this, I keep lore out the picture in One Piece, and this is how I get repaid. He's just like that.
No, but the thing is, I can say this because critically speaking as well, he's had
good moments.
major development this year.
Mm-hmm.
And he's had a couple of that panel when him and Deku switched it up on Shiggy, and then he unleashed his gauntlet.
Yeah.
The massive explosion. That was so cool.
Yeah. Do you know what was cooler? That one where Shigaraki was imagining decaying both of them. That should have happened, but
Oh, it didn't, but the explosion actually happened.
And it's still...
And
go on.
And it's still an impactful moment, because when we think about Shiggy as well, we'll credit to Shiggy because he's so powerful. Every hit like that counts.
Yeah, you need them big hits. That's why he's in the conditioning.
What about Shiggy's moment where he does to Ozawa and all of them? What about that moment?
Yeah, true, but then I could also say that Bakugo destroyed the remaining bullet. So, that situation could have been a lot worse if not for Bakugo there as well.
All right.
He still has
Don't
some big plays.
Preaching on your high horse. Jesus.
He does some big plays for someone out his depth, to be fair.
Okay. I can't even deny that.
He's not even a full-time hero yet.
Yeah.
He is out of his depth. Yeah, he is out.
Talk about peaking early.
This is like Luffy and Marineford. Maybe not that big a gap, but
No, it is definitely a big gap. Without Ozawa there, everyone is dead.
That's true. Yeah, even for Endeavour and Shigaraki, it's a massive gap at this point.
Everyone is dead. Yeah, so. And the fact that, Bakugo was giving orders to the number one hero and telling him what to do as well. This guy's a goat, man.
He's about to go full worship. Let's go. This is about to be a long video.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk more about him when I get to my favourite chapter. But yeah, for now, Bakugo, favourite character of the year.
Yeah.
Lewis?
I think I'm going to go with Ozawa. I think that...
Oh, man, we're going to get
I think Ozawa is... I think... Why?
Because they're going to call us sexist. None of us has mentioned Mirko, and to be honest, I want to mention him.
Yeah, but honourable mentions... My honourable mentions would be
Mirko was such a go. If it wasn't for Shigaraki, standing for so long and for him to come full fruition, it would have been Mirko for beginning of the year.
But then there's a lot of characters... There's a lot of characters that you could say, you could give honourable mentions to for this year.
My guy.
I feel like this year, you could easily say all of the villains, because they've all developed massively. And
but
before this year,
gave an arm and a leg for the calls though.
No, that is true, Jordan.
that is pretty goated.
That is true. No, you're right.
Oh, man.
Destro gave 2 legs, if I'm being honest, for his cause.
Bro, I don't give a shit
did
about
give
Destro.
2 legs.
What the fuck you were talking about?
He's a villain. He gave 2 legs.
I mean, Mirko and Ozawa for me, are both the two top candidates for MVP of the arc.
To be fair, it makes sense.
Azawa just proves that it doesn't matter what hero rating you are, because he is just as important as any of the others.
Yeah.
See,
so
that's just cool being the utility hero, to be honest. The support of the party, which is understandable because everyone loves Ozawa. But I mean, I would have took all of them.
I don't like it when you get like this. If I'm being honest,
I'm in full Shigaraki stan mode, to be honest. So I can't help.
I don't like it when you get like this at all.
Anyway, go on.
I could also say best character this year with the biggest moment, Mirio, because he's about to...
yeah. That's probably your favourite moment.
Clean up crew.
Him and Best Genius, tag team, could clean up.
Yeah.
So,
it's going to be a
we don't know.
The stacks and stacks of plot armour Horikoshi has unfortunately put my boy Shigaraki down. But it is what it is. Oh, dear.
This man hates all the My Hero plot armour, but ignores all the One Piece plot armour.
I don't know what you're talking about. It doesn't exist in my One Piece or Bleach. I don't know what you're talking about.
It doesn't exist in...
So
blinded by love.
Anyway, let's talk about how when it got stated that Horikoshi put in his manga, it stated, anyone on the ground Shigaraki could beat, he could decay anyone. So he magically gave a flashback and said, oh dear. And then he magically... That's very unprofessional. Should have put it on mute. Actually, to be honest, my phone is constantly on mute. I don't understand why that started playing.
You heard the shit that was coming out of your mouth and decided
to stop it. Fucking police are calling me. Sorry. So, Shigaraki can destroy anyone on the ground. Alright. So, what does Horikoshi write in? Oh, yes. A flashback that leads to... Now, Deku, who 5 minutes ago couldn't control Black Whip, can now control Black Whip, pull everyone in the air, and has levitate. So no one's on the ground now. Bro,
Lord died, and then a little dwarf saved him with some magic.
What? What are you chatting about now? This is not this.
It's the same.
All right. Right. Do you really want me to?
Armor, bro. It happens.
Do you want me?
Characters.
Do you want me to go into that though? Because I can tell you plot armor. I can tell you plot armor in One Piece as well as to why Law should have beat Duffy, but he didn't.
Okay.
But I'm not gonna go into that because it's just what it is, isn't it? But I'm just saying,
I could also argue on the same side that from the flashback that they knew Float was going to activate. They were preparing for it. That was the whole point of their training.
Yeah, but I can understand that if we saw that before. But we saw it in that chapter. But anyway, it's the shock value.
It made it more impactful.
It did make it more impactful. I'm only kidding around. But at the same time...
What you don't know is this debate is going to continue for the rest of the night after this podcast.
I'm only kidding around. But at the same time, I would have liked Shigaraki to get at least one dub so far. But unfortunately, it is what it is.
He has. We don't know what Gran Torino's doing yet.
Yeah, Gran Torino couldn't die without putting his own fucking plot armor in, could he, though?
He's got to do something before he goes out.
As well, to be fair.
Yeah, he did kill Crust.
Who?
If not for
that old hero,
would be dead. So
yeah, it's true.
What plot armor? Is that what you're chatting about? Oh, right, yeah, sick.
So what if anyone saves anyone? Is plot armor?
Bro, it's a hero series.
Nah, to be fair, that was the most. No, bitch. Since Villain Arc, it should have just stayed as Villain Academia. You knew I would have stayed for that. No, yeah, you're right. Go on. Apologies. I'll shut up for 5 minutes. I'll put myself on the timer.
Alright, what's your favourite chapter?
Oh shit. I did have this written down. I just realised I went on a tangent. Oh!
I'm just going to say...
No, actually, I'm going to say it later because otherwise I'm going to go back on a tangent again and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, let me go first because I feel like you lot might be a little bit more... I feel like yours are a little bit more actually hit and impactful. Not that mine don't hit, but...
No, I find mine hilarious.
I feel like mine's cheap because I'm gonna say the most recent one because Mirio turns up.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. That's a massive moment, especially
so I feel like that's cheap and just because last time we saw him, okay, if it wasn't for a bullet, alright, he would have slapped Overhaul.
Oh yeah, he had that. definitely.
So he's just
No,
he's sick.
Yeah,
he's so overpowered. His move is ridiculous.
Well, this is it, right? It's
And I can't wait to see what happens.
He is overpowered, but the thing is,
I said to Luca, like, please don't tell me he's going to kill him off this way now instead. Like, don't have him come back and then him die here.
We were talking about that, weren't we, Luca? Before I was like, imagine he comes back and just kills him off the next chapter.
That's it. I said to Luca, I'm buzzing for when he eventually gets killed off in 2 chapters' time. Like,
oh my God.
I don't want him to have come back just to die again.
Like, because half of the heroes' forces have been killed. Like,
depleted.
They need Mirio. Like, if Mirio dies, like, yeah.
He's got to be, like, in the next top 10. Like, the next generation, he's got to be in there after.
Yeah, it's just where he sits now, isn't it? Like, weirdly enough, like, as you've mentioned before, Luke, when we was chatting on the review and stuff of the chapter.
I think he could go in the top 10 now.
Well, yeah, but this is what... Well, Luke can say it, because he was talking about it in the review.
Yeah, I mean, like, the story is, you know, Midoriya's rise to number 1, and then you have characters like Bakugo and Shoto, who are, you know, the two main supporting the rivals, you know, and the supporting characters. Like, where does Mirio fit into that? Because he's so OP. And
he's so ahead of them at that point.
And he's so ahead.
Yeah.
This is what we said in our chapter review, because we weren't expecting Mirio to turn up now. We knew it would happen at some point. We weren't expecting it now, because we thought, okay, if he has a year out and he's a little bit behind on training and stuff, you know, maybe it makes everything a bit more balanced. But he's not been away for that long.
No. And he's straight back in the action.
We don't know whether this is only temporary, but I don't think it would be. But maybe, I don't know. It depends.
Nice.
Bro, if they made this temporary, then I really will get my plot armor fucking shield out.
Exactly, that's why I said it. Jordan's about to start a campaign for My Hero.
It could make sense with Ares' power. I don't know, because if Ares' power, if she can do it, then it's basically like, no, that should stay, right?
Yeah,
like, that's it.
I think, going back to what you said, maybe Mirio, I mean, maybe he does eventually die, and maybe...
Well, the thing is, right, is like,
the whole overhaul thing was to say that...
Past this, right, it's impossible to predict Mirio's thing now, because we don't know what position everyone's going to be in past this arc, you know?
What if Mirio's a traitor?
To be honest, the top 10 might not even be a thing past this arc. Like, it might
I do think that the whole society of heroes is going to be reshaped from now on.
Yeah.
I
think villains. If you can't beat them, join them.
No,
that's Jordan's approach.
That'd be no fun.
Yeah, because then you'd have Hawks as a villain, and you wouldn't like that.
No, Hawks
Can you just go back to being a Kirishima supporter, please?
I love Kirishima.
Yeah, it's true. I preferred it when you were that.
I prefer it when you're that as well.
Shiggy goat.
Yeah.
Sorry, my eyes have been forever blessed. Speaking of which, my favourite chapter this year, chapter 276. Now, I've mentioned this moment a lot in our reviews and stuff, but can you guess what happened in that chapter?
Just quick, another good chapter is Shigaraki's backstory.
That's crazy. It wasn't your part. It wasn't your part, though. Luke. I was talking.
I know.
But yes, that was a good chapter.
Hey, I'm supporting your character, alright?
No.
Jog on.
No.
He probably decayed someone.
No, it was chapter 276. It was the moment when he made the number 1 hero his bitch and he stepped on him. And that still has never left me. That is when I realised, shit, this man's the GOAT. This is the GOAT of the series. This is
Call him the number one dad abuser.
I thought... Dad killer. No, I thought that no one would be able to touch Aizen. I thought he was on this villain pedestal for me. I thought it's nostalgia, and because he's just an incredible villain, right? Then Shigaraki comes along with that one panel, and I'm like, shit, someone's actually reached that level for me now of how much hype I can get for a villain.
That's a big statement. That's a very big statement.
I've been saying this for ages now.
I know, but I'm scared.
Them two are in a league of their own for me now. Shigaraki and Aizen.
Don't worry. You're about to give it like 2 years.
Give it a year, and Horikoshi absolutely ruin him for me. Give it.
Yeah. Give it a year, Give it a year when All For One takes over his body. Jordan's be like, "This is fucking."
Give it 5
bollocks.
years.
This is the worst thing ever.
When the series finishes and he still doesn't have a proper body to his name, and he's been beat or some shit, and I've got to say, I'm
not gonna lie. There's like. That is the one good thing about, we're going to talk about it later, about Jujutsu Kaisen, is that their villain does catch bodies.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter. Like, Mahito is going to be up there for me as, like, one of the characters that I hate the most, but I love that he's in that series, because that's it. Like,
they need to be equal. That's all I'm saying. I know everyone thinks
Shigaraki does need to catch more bodies. I feel like
Man became the strongest, beating, like, as I said, in 276, slapping fucking the number one hero. And somehow, despite being facing against everyone, and basically, like, having all these OP powers, still hasn't caught a body. Like,
I mean, he caught villain bodies.
He got Gran Torino, but Gran Torino saved two main protagonists. Like, that was the least.
It's early, bro. He just got the body. He'll get more over the series.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
No doubt.
Well, we all know who's going to get the Endeavor body, and it won't be him. So.
Yeah, right. But there's
after this psychological terror, it might be himself. Honestly, fucking hell. Like
that chapter is also good for the no mood designs as well that got.
Yeah.
Released, and there's a nice bit with Deku and Bakugo and Aizawa at the end.
Yeah.
As they pull up to the scene.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a good pick for a chapter, to be fair.
Yeah. Dabby's also an honourable mention. Jesus Christ, what a guy! What a guy! This fucking this year, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, we knew it was coming, didn't we? We said it.
To be honest, I thought that was gonna be like up there for you. I wasn't sure if it'd be Bakugo or Dabby for this year. Like that was like the decider for me.
It's tough because he's been so amazing this arc, and you know we felt that it was coming, and the way Horikoshi done it was so perfect. Like, critically, it's tough. It's tough to put him second, but at the same time, like for my pick, 285, like I fucking cried at that chapter. So I can't really.
No, it makes sense.
Put it above it.
And that well, I said Dabby bits as well. What I realised going back through the chapters was this year how there's a bit of a gap in the middle where we didn't see Dabby a lot. I mean, we had those periods of chapters where everyone was like screenshotting his bits because he was so funny because he was just smiling, but he wasn't saying anything. But then I forget at the beginning of the year was the Twice part with Dabby and stuff, and how many good panels we got of him out of that, and how many big moments we got of him. So really, beginning and end of this year, he's been high key like goated. Like he's actually had a really good year, like his best moments without doubt. So that's definitely like an honourable mention.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. Like as you say, over the year he probably has been stronger.
Yeah.
He probably has been the stronger character over Bakugo.
Yeah.
But yeah, personally, for a chapter pick, 285 for me. The chapter in which Bakugo self-sacrifices his body for Deku.
Yeah. It's a great chapter.
Yeah, I mean, it was just like, it was so out of nowhere, you know, like we've been waiting for it because there's always been the hint that there's, you know, way more to their relationship that meets the eye.
Oh, yeah.
You know, especially ever since their fight, and we've seen Bakugo a lot more involved in everything Deku does with All Might. So, you know, it's been coming, and this was just, again, the perfect time to do it, the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, so Horikoshi, you know, genius in his planning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, going back to what I said about Yamato earlier in One Piece, there's so much potential from here on out for him from here on, as well.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely.
That's the bigger thing.
I'm so fascinated to see what he does after this arc, Horikoshi. Like, I really am.
Yeah.
That's genuine. Like,
I just
gonna
add one thing going back to like best characters or characters that have been consistent.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Toga. because I feel like she
Toga,
has been consistent this year.
Villains,
And
man,
she's
I'm
had,
telling you, they're the goats of this series. I don't even care. Like, all of them, brilliant. Like, Shigaraki,
like,
Dabi, and Toga.
she has other than Shigaraki.
Is he gone?
Is he gone?
I think
No, other than Shigaraki, sorry.
No, he's gone.
Damn it. My mate keeps on calling me. He's like, talk to me for 1 sec. I'm like, I can't.
I can't do it.
Other than Shigaraki, she's the only other villain I feel like that they know it, but she's actually starting to realize how different or how the hero society looks at them and questioned why that is.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's something, she's just, and I think that's going to spur her on.
Yeah.
And she's going to become a stronger follower of Shigaraki.
Oh, his mate's back.
He ended at a good place, to be fair.
He did, yeah.
Shall we just move it on to just favourite individual moment?
I was going to say, we've still got that, haven't we? We started talking about so many moments there. That's just us now. Let's build for the JJK section.
He'll come back.
Favourite moment? You know what? I didn't even think about this because Shigaraki's had a lot of good moments. I just realised this. I mean, obviously, just a bit in the chapter is kind of iconic for me. When he stood on and man said, "Is this how you did it?" and then mocked him by using the other arm. Like, oh man, when he stepped on the devil. But
thinking for you as well in terms of Shiggy.
Yeah.
One bit that comes to mind is when he comes out of the chamber and
so good.
He decays everything around him and he just stood on that.
Yeah.
Heap.
Oh, you know what? That's probably one of my favourite panels this year. The one where Endeavor's coming down and he kind of looks almost like a prophet type deal, like with the
the rope is so clean.
Yeah. It's such a basic one, but he looks like godlike. I don't know how to put it. Like, he looks like he's holy or something. The white hair and everything. It was, oh man, he's had so many good moments. I can't lie. As much as Horikoshi has done me for plot armies, I mean, so well for Shigaraki in the end. Like, some of the bits I've got of him and stuff. As you say, if he keeps it up like this, like, keeps him as this kind of level for the rest of the series, I'll be more than happy.
Yeah, the way you got to think about it, the way I think about it is, this is the beginning of, we're going from My Hero Academia to what I think is going to be just My Hero now. So,
of course,
everything's going to go up to the next level.
Yeah, no, I agree.
This is the real beginning,
No, definitely.
So,
I see where you're coming from there. What's your favourite moment? I'm going to put that as my favourite moment. To be fair, I think that's a great shout. Like, apart from the stepping on thing, that's probably going to be one of my most. To me, that's still one of my It's like, right. I don't want to say the Bleach spoiler, but the Aizen bit, right? That I always go back to, right?
Yeah.
That was kind of the Shigaraki moment for me, where I was like, I love it when a villain mocks people on another level, right? Like, in Shigaraki's case, it was someone who he wasn't nowhere near Endeavor, kind of thing, but now he's like, I don't know, like, just to see a villain progress like that after the villain arc and everything, which is so good, by the way. I think that, other than that, because I've spoken about it too much, I think the bit where he comes out of the chamber, as you said, just decays everything, and that whole panel, like, fire.
The hands all over his like back and face as well with his family.
Yeah. No,
we've said it 100 times before, but Horikoshi has been like moving like Picasso.
The amount of spreads.
So
I think someone counted it, wasn't it? I can't remember if I said it in like last week's podcast, or like the other time when we were talking about My Hero. But apparently, I think someone was counting them from the Liberation army. So I can't remember if it was after or before the villain arc. I think it was like during the villain arc up till now, kind of thing. And there's something stupid like 66 spreads in that many, and it's like, and I don't even want to know how many is like in the most previous chapters, because in the most previous chapters, there's just been, as you say, Picasso, like just everywhere, like every other page was a spread, and it was so good, so good. I never thought I'd love My Hero this much, and I have Horikoshi and Shiggy to thank for that, to be honest. So, no,
I think for me, I'm torn between two, but I think I'm going to give it to Dabby and Toya's reveal.
Yeah, well, that's a great shout. Oh my god, yeah. I keep forgetting because that's like so recent.
From that panel when he's like dancing, so the past never dies. Like turning that page was ridiculous.
I might have to change the favourite chapter because I forget that was all in one. That's
it was ridiculous.
That shit gave me chills though. When I loved that panel when he's dancing, right? But when I flipped that thing and that page / like panel of him saying, like, as you say, like the past never dies, that sent chills down.
Honestly, because when that gets animated as well, he's gonna do that as he completes a turn
also,
and it's gonna oh my god, it's gonna be so clean.
Good. It's gonna be the delivery's got to be on point. Oh my god, it's gonna be so good. That was such a good chapter.
That's definitely my favourite moment of the year, but also more recently, same with Lou with regards to Mirio's comeback, also seeing Best Genius again.
Yeah.
Definitely worth a shout out. So
that's understandable.
Lou, what about your favorite? I know you've kind of already said it, but your favourite moment, or have you got a different one?
I think this is. I don't know if I thought about this. I think I just thought of the best chapter. My favourite chapter. Maybe Miri. Yeah, I think probably the Mirio bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else happened. There's a lot of good bits with Bakugo, but I feel like you already know all them bits. Like whenever there's a Bakugo or Shigaraki thing, it's probably going to be a good part. Maybe the bit with Granny Tamura in the thing where she's talking to Awful One.
Yeah, that's a good chapter.
Oh yeah,
with Deku. I think that's a good moment.
With
I felt like that.
We were chatting. I'm guessing you've seen it, Luca, and how like Nana Shimura, she holds. Oh, not holds. She like when she's like pats Deku, I guess, like on the head kind of thing. Like she holds her head. It's the same place where she holds Shiggy. And I'm like, that's interesting. Like, bro.
One for all is a cursed power.
Yeah.
As the goat man himself has said.
Yeah. Bakugo. Jesus.
Also, shout out Kirishima saving Mina as well.
Yeah. Ashido and Kirishima team up was definitely a 10 out of 10. Oh my god.
Yeah.
What a chapter. Oh, what a moment.
I'm looking forward to Kirishima and Bakugo.
That was the only time I was gutted that the heroes lost. That was the only time. When they still didn't stop Gigantomachia. After all that, I was hurt.
It was sad. Right, do you guys want to move on to JJK? And I'll go on mute for...
Yeah. I'll message you on Discord when we are done. Only because I don't want to risk spoiling Luca, because I know he's enjoying the series so far.
Yeah, it's cool.
Quickly tell him to unmute as we get to the good bits.
Well, like you. No, what was it?
Sorry.
I was going to say, okay, so obviously for anyone that's not up to date with the Jujutsu Kaisen manga, please skip this part because we're going to be going over spoilers. Unless you don't care about spoilers and you don't give a shit, then watch it for all I care. Anyway, this year has basically been all Shibuya. Like, well, it has been all Shibuya. I don't know why I said basically. It has been. I think it started this year at part 5 of Shibuya. Now we're on part 48. So it's been pure Shibuya arc, and to be honest, it's been an incredible arc, hasn't it? Like, it's been absolutely insane. I mean, Jujutsu Kaisen, like some people say that Chainsaw Man about it moving quick, like the pacing. This has moved quick, but this is easy. Like, I think this is easily like the longest arc we've had, right? Like, Jujutsu Kaisen arc tends to be on the short side compared to, say, My Hero and One Piece.
Yeah. This has definitely been... This feels like
48
such a long arc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's because it's had so much build-up, hasn't it? I mean, even in the anime, it's only just started. We've seen so many, like...
Yeah.
The early chapter kind of... foreshadowing of this arc and, like, planning for this arc. And so far it's been delivering, like... you know what? We haven't been going over it. I just realised in the last, like, we've got this like favourite fights and stuff. But yeah, either way, this year Jujutsu Kaisen would have had that hands down. For me, anyway.
I was also going to just say before we go into it in depth, I think this is my favourite. Like, this has been my favourite to read this year. Like, I know...
That's fair. Like,
I think this is... Yeah, I think this has been my favourite to read.
Yeah.
I think that like, yeah, it's hurt and it's upset me at times.
No,
but I think this has been my favourite.
Gigi, like, as much as he obviously he's new and he's got a lot to learn, I suppose, like in terms of like things. But as I've said before, other mangaka can learn shit from him about how he handles his characters, like in terms of like, as we said,
although he loves them,
stuff.
He does what's best for the story.
Yeah, and it's like, as we said about plot armor and stuff, there has been plot armor, of course. We've seen Yuji die. We've seen like Megumi die in this arc, and that's probably going to be my favourite moment of this arc.
This is where you just hear Luca come in.
Yeah, but regardless of that, it's like it's still brilliant. Like because like people do die, but these things do happen when you're up against someone like that. There is no series. There's no like you get to the end of the fight and you're like, what did they lose? It's like you still lost something, even if you win the fight, kind of thing. Like Megumi and Yuji have had plot armor. I mean, even if Luca was listening, he knows about Yuji. Like with the whole, even from the beginning of the arc, like Sukuna basically killing him and then coming back because of the whole contract thing. Megumi, same thing. Sukuna's the main plot device for both of them. Yeah. But obviously, we don't know about Nobara, but there's heavy implications that she's dead. But then they have referenced that obviously. Last
time I spoke to you, I had hope.
Yeah.
Don't take it away from me, Jordan.
The only thing that puts me off, right, and I know it's only silly and it could just be Gigi messing around, right? Every time, like, he's been showing like a couple colour pages, especially the Mojito one from a few chapters ago. And he has those dolls, and the dolls are the people he's killed. And it's Nanamin, and it's Junpei, and then it's Nobara's there. And I'm like, that's kind of peak, because, we know what happened to the other two.
I'm not sleeping tonight.
But then the guy did say, and you'd think, for the most series, you'd think that given that reference that, we might save her, that she's definitely going to get saved, but it could be like a curveball that Gigi's throwing in, I hope it's not true. I love Nobara, and I really want to see her
He's such a savage
develop.
if he does this.
He is. And I feel like...
She's so cool. I feel like that's the only thing I think I might disagree with him if he did that.
I'd have to say.
So I feel like it depends how it plans out, but I feel like if it did happen, I feel like she had so much more development to have, and
you such
a big role still to play.
That's part of the surprise factor though, and that's what not enough series do, because they're like I agree that some series that do are more mature in terms of killing off characters. They sometimes suffer from the characters they've killed off because there's not many good ones left, right? Certain bits. But with Nobara, I think she's one of the best. I think she's got, as you say, a lot to give. That's what makes it so shocking, I don't think they should, because to me, she is the best, she's the top heroine in Shonen Jump right now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. I prefer her to say Uraraka, who's the main heroine from My Hero Academia. Nami is tough, actually, now I think about it, One Piece, because I love Nami. But I think for all that, as an actual main character fighting and stuff, the shit she was doing to Mojito, man, she's just sick. She's so sick, and as you say, she has so much potential. I still think it's an 80% chance she doesn't die. I think she's going to survive. But it's just the little things he's throwing out there that worry me.
It's just because he's an absolute...
Yeah. After...
he loves to hurt.
After he'd done that Nanamin thing, it's damn, that hurt. And we've had characters we finally started getting somewhat development after we got an initial bit with Mekamaru and stuff, and then he fucking died. And it was fantastic. And it's Mojito again. But yeah, that man's a savage.
That fight was so good. That fight.
That fight was.
Because when you read the arc with the schools, what is it called? With Kyoto against Tokyo School.
Jujutsu High. Jujutsu Tech, as they call it in the
Yeah. That arc where he fights, you don't really see how strong he actually is.
Yeah.
But the fact that he actually does, he holds up against Mojito.
No, he does. Yeah.
he causes Mahito a problem.
Yeah.
And I was never expecting that. When Mahito turned up, I thought Mahito would wipe him. Like,
yeah.
I thought it
Didn't
would be
expect
easy.
anything like that. That's what he does so well, man.
I didn't think it to be so challenging.
Yeah.
For Mahito, but it really was. And like now he's gone. Nanami is the worst thing I've read all year.
Yeah,
that's like hurt the most.
That one did, and that's what.
Other than that, or the Ace novel, they actually hurt my heart.
No, yeah,
because I'm like, how did they kill? Like, this is the first character I feel like in an early part of the series that I've had to lose so early. So it's not like
I have to agree.
I've not had that in a series before.
I think Nalamin was the most. I think that's probably my most emotional scene this year. I sat
in terms
there,
of a death.
I sat there reading it.
Because One Piece has emotional scenes.
Yeah, of course. But I sat there and vocally shouted no when I turned that chapter. Jordan
felt the pain.
Jordan
felt it.
Of course, it's Nanami. Like Nanami's.
It's seeing him like that. Seeing him the way he was.
I know he's like your favourite, that, right? But in general, like he's just loved. Like he's like a Kakashi type deal.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Everyone loves him. Like he's just a goat. He is kind of thing. Like you can't hate Nanami if you're into that Jujutsu Kaisen, obviously.
Him and Gojo are so much like Kakashi.
But Gojo like. As this went on, right, I can see why Gojo gets maybe like a few people that dislike him because of how he is, but I love him. Most people love him. Nanamin, I don't really know how.
Once you see the backstory of him and Geto, I don't think you see how much he's changed. You can't hate Geto. You can't hate him. It's not possible.
Can't hate Geto. I could hate Geto.
Not Geto. Gojo.
Yeah.
Geto is technically dead.
Gojo in this arc as well. The beginning of this arc was incredible, and it showed more of like the fact of like how I like it when they show it, and the anime is starting to show early signs, even more so than the manga did, I think, early on, which is how insane Gojo is when he fights and stuff. Like I'm now after seeing
the man broke out of the seal. If we're being honest, he broke out of the seal. Their plan was to seal him, and he broke out of the first one.
Yeah. He's not out of this one, though. Prison Realm has got him.
No.
I'm wondering how he's going to get out of that.
Of course not.
But yeah, like, this arc, I still don't know how long it's got left. This seems like the bit that's on now, the Mahito fight, would have definitely been my fight of the year, I reckon. Like, based on predictions of how good my Jujutsu Kaisen fights have been. The tag team and that new form Mahito has, oh my fucking god, that looks so cool. And like...
It's actually him as a curse. It's his curse form. That's what you'd call it.
It's like him fully developed, like, he's just constantly evolving. And this is the thing. Like the
It'd be interesting to see whether he stays like this now. This is him.
Maybe. But, no, I don't know with him because of how the way he transfigures and stuff. Like, and it's... And the thing is, like, with him is... He feels like there's so much room to grow because of the fact that, like, he is... humans, like that's his curse, like the hate
he has infinite power.
Each other.
Infinite power.
The more people hate, the more people like curse other people, which is just going to continue, especially if stuff like this happens. Yeah, and it seems like he's finding more and more about himself, kind of thing.
Definitely.
But yeah, like oh my god.
I think also. Yeah, Nanamin's bit. I think obviously your favorite bit. Have we got what did we do in the other ones? We did favourite characters first, didn't we?
Yeah, I was gonna say we should actually get through it because I said I'd go quick with Luca.
So favourite characters.
Favourite characters this year. Sukuna for me. Sorry, I already knew that. Sukuna.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
straight up. I was thinking Mahito, like he was up there, but when I reread some of them Sukuna bits, I was like, nah, that man. Honestly, he was goated before, but some of the stuff I saw, oh my god, like he's so. Good.
I can't bring myself to say Mahito. I respect him, and I think he's arguably.
I think he's probably the biggest performer this arc. Like without doubt, by the end, like
I think he is my favorite.
I think
favorite villain of this year.
Yeah.
In terms of not Shigaraki's different. I think Shigaraki has a little bit more maybe like charisma maybe. I think.
I don't know. I'd actually say the opposite.
Mahito is.
It's your opinion.
Do you? I think Mahito is just a better villain at being.
Yeah, horrible. But I think Mahito
being.
I like Shigaraki. I like his personality, but charisma. Mahito has always been like that. You know, like the way he is, and he's just so like, I don't know how to put it. He's so literally charismatic, like in terms of like, he's like so happy. He's
just nuts.
And yeah, exactly. And then like, whereas Shigaraki's more like contained, but then he goes nuts and stuff, which is why I like him personally.
Yeah.
But Mahito, maybe he's the best this arc, man. I think overall, like,
I can't bring myself. Yeah, he is incredible, but I can't bring myself to do it because of what he did. Right.
Yeah, but that's what makes it. That's what makes him like the best.
Yeah, I know. He is the. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He is the best this year. Him or Sukuna are the best 2 characters this year.
Yeah.
Okay, they are. But for my vote, I can't bring myself to do it. Okay, can't. Weak. He is the like. They are the best characters. Weak. I think other characters that I think it's not weak. All right. Weak. Imagine if Doflamingo killed Law.
Right.
Would you say that Doflamingo was the best character? Would he
still be my favourite villain in One Piece? Yes. He killed off Corazon, and he's still my favourite villain. Like.
But then Corazon isn't your favourite character compared to Law.
No, but at the same time, if he had killed Law that arc, he would have been like, yeah, big sad, but he still would have been my favourite like villain in the series. Like.
Yeah, Mahito, yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Like I sat there and like was like gutted about Nanami, but I can't. Like, I was sad. Like you say, he's a dickhead, but he's just brilliant. Like,
he is a good character. Maybe he is the best. Villain. Maybe he is. I was going to say him.
Yeah.
I was going to say Toji.
Yeah, I think Toji was sick, but then I think it was too short-lived.
He's not been in it as much. He was short-lived, but we'll leave Toji's bit for another bit because he's got another bit coming up because I know what your favourite moment is and your favourite chapters are.
Yeah,
but I think maybe Mahito.
Yeah,
I think that like Yuji's had really good bit. Yuji has had good bits.
He has.
Megumi's had some good bits,
Megumi's been
and
sick,
also Nobara. But I don't think any of them have been as big or as Mahito and Sukuna have been in this arc.
Yeah,
consistent wise.
Mm-hmm.
Because even Sukuna could still turn up at this point.
Yeah.
He has. Technically, he has.
Who he's
technically
taken out
in the most recent chapter.
Yeah.
Like. Mahito is talking to him.
Yeah.
Like, so I would say that, and we finally got to see Sukuna sort of let loose a little bit more. This arc.
Yeah,
we've seen the real him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'd say I think we've covered the best 2 characters. I think Mahito and him.
Yeah.
I'll bring myself to say Mahito. You convinced me. He is the best character in this arc. He is, as much as it hurts. I'll give him his credit that he is the best character.
What was it? So yeah, to do it quickly, I just say because obviously we've covered a lot of it anyway. Favorite chapter is 116. It's a chapter where it's a very like fast read chapter, but it's a chapter of Sukuna versus Jogo. I think that was just incredible. I loved so many moments of that, even though it was such a short chapter and such a short fight. Right, like they're literally standing on top of a meteor and that. The spreads are incredible. The one of him versing him, but then also I love the hand sign one so much. Like the way it just goes across the thing, it looks so cool to me. And then obviously the bit of like you are strong and stuff, and it's like to me it's more Jogo hallucinating kind of thing because he's in either so much pain or.
We had this discussion, didn't we, during our review that I think it was him like you said at that time, you're like, I think this is just the thing that he wanted to see before he died.
So many curses and that when they died in this series, like people seem to have this moment with the white background and everything, and them seeing stuff. Like I think even they got explained in the flashback of Gojo and Geto when Geto's beating the old man up and that iconic 2 double spread thing of him like reversing him and punch him in the face comes out. And the guy's like, "Oh, it's my dog. My dog died like 2 years ago." He's like, "Oh, it's because I'm probably going to die," and then it cuts back and he's getting punched. I think it was the same thing with Jogo. He's just because he saw the curses who he saw as friends, which was Hanamin and the Squid Geezer.
The Squid Geezer.
I can't remember his name, but
he's the one that they fight before Toji turns up.
Yeah, but and he sees them who are obviously dead as well, and he's like, "Oh, and then obviously gets told by Sukuna, "You are strong," which is what he wanted. And then when you cut back to reality, and it's just like Sukuna saying, "How am I supposed to know what you want?" or something. And it's just like him tearing into him, basically, and he's burning alive. He's literally turned the embodiment of fear about volcanoes and natural disasters, Jogo. He set him alight and killed him with his own move. It's so dirt. But yeah, anyway, I still went on too long about that. But fave moment, though, is Megumi's bit when he basically dies and he says to Yuji, like, sorry, I'm going first. That shit hit me. And then obviously after that he summons the massive thing, which is fucking ridiculously strong, and even like makes Sukuna try a bit. So that bit was so sick to me. That's my favourite moment personally of this year. The most hyped I've been for JJK. Okay. What about you? Your favourite chapter and moment?
I had my favourite chapter earlier. I remember my favourite moment. I can't remember what my favourite chapter was. So I think my favourite moment was, if this is the right chapter. No, this is your chapter. I think my favourite chapter is maybe 113.
Right.
It's when Megumi fights his dad. He actually fights Toji.
Yeah,
it's that whole chapter.
Yeah, that was a great chapter.
And Toji. So whenever we've met Toji before, especially in the flashback with Geto and Gojo, he seems like a bit of an arse. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like he's actually he's just a mercenary. If we're being honest, he kills curses and sorcerers. He's not. And obviously, we know Megumi's part of like the Zenin family, which is like part of like the royal family technically in that world.
Yeah.
Like they're what are they? They're like the higher ups, aren't they?
Yeah, they're one of like the major families, there. Like royal families kind of.
And also we see how they treated Maki for having no curse energy.
Yeah.
We see how like she's treated by them.
Mm-hmm.
And you
see
that
flashback one of the things
of,
I was going to put
the dad
as one of my favourite fights of this year as well. Was when you had the head of the Zenin family, Maki, and Nanami against the curse. That shit was
the squid. That was
so
very good fight.
That was so good, yeah.
So even in this bit, you see the flashback of him talking to the old guy that fights in that fight with Nanami and Maki, and he's saying, "Look after Megumi."
Yeah.
So you see, he did actually really care for Megumi, like and the way that he's like, "What's your name?" And when he calls himself Fushiguro instead of Zenin, he's like, that's when he obviously ends it for himself and he says, "Good for you."
That's so good, yeah.
Like that whole thing where you actually see that he did actually care for his son. We all think that he gave up on his son because of like, because you see his personality earlier on.
Yeah.
But there was a lot more to him. Yeah, and he's a beast as well. Like you look at him in that flashback.
That's going to change.
He's like,
going to change people's lives.
He is
in the anime.
Yeah, like they're gonna think like, oh my god, he's like up there. Like, could he fight Sukuna?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's fighting Geto when Geto was younger. And and Gojo. He's fighting both of them. So I think for me, he's like the third strongest character we've seen. That's me personally.
It's a solid.
I think it goes Sukuna, Gojo, then him. I think they're the top three we've seen in the manga. But that's my favorite chapter.
Mm-hmm.
That's my and then my favorite moment. Favorite moment could be. I'm trying to think.
It can be from that chapter if you want it to be. If it wants to be that moment that you just said, that makes sense.
I like. Well, to be fair, that it's even now. Just looking through, I'm like, Megumi was so perplexed. He did not know what the hell was going on. He's so confused to why he just did that.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't even realize who that is that he's facing.
Yeah.
Which is going to mean so much more if he finds out that was his dad.
Yeah. I'm really fascinated to see what he does with Megumi because there's still so much about him, like with that.
Yeah.
And then the Sukuna thing, like it's going to be so much good with Megumi.
I think my favorite moment is the bit where Sukuna first turns up against Jogo, maybe.
Yeah.
What he does to the girl and what he does to Jogo, where he's just like
just
move.
Cuts them up. Yeah,
he's just like, get out of my way, and he's like, it's not necessary.
It makes me laugh because he goes up to him and is like, okay, so you gave me one finger, whatever. So please tell me, like, whatever. And then they demand something from him. They say like, "Oh, go kill Geto up there," or whatever. And then he's like, "You think?" And he kills you.
You think you can order me around?
You can order me around for one finger.
Yeah.
And then that bitch tries
and he's
to
like
take a picture, do a curse, and then oh my god, that is going to be
It's when he chops off the bit of the top part of Jogo's volcano.
That bit is
and he has the head. He has like the blood splitting out.
Yeah, it's like,
and then after that, he kills the two girls.
Yeah, the way
savagely.
He cut that one in like cubes.
And then Jogo's talking to him, and then he goes, and then at the end he's like, "How about I kill every human in Shibuya all but one?"
Yeah.
And at this point, you're like, "Oh my god, he's teaming up with Jogo."
Yeah.
And then you look in three chapters time, which is your favorite chapter, and you're like, "Well, where did this go wrong?" Because at the end of that one, you're like, "Oh, they're teaming up." But yeah, probably that might be my favorite moment this series. I think that's like when he arrives.
Yeah.
Whenever you see Sukuna, he has like some of the best entrances.
Yeah. That's fair.
In this series. It's so good.
So oh dear, what's Daisy?
Yeah. I think them two bits.
Any
other bits? Any honourable mentions before he joins?
Nah, I think we should move on because I've just realised how long this video is going to be because we've got.
Oh, fair.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Can return. Let's go back. Right. This is on recording for late. 35. No, but yeah, I think it's definitely still like, I don't know how long of this series is left. Like, for all I know, like this could have been like the conclusive like arc, right, for a lot of series.
Yeah.
But the way I've compared it before is I kind of see the Shibuya arc as almost like a Marineford. Whereas I'm not sure if it's like a halfway point, but I feel like it's the first major arc. There's going to be major casualties and stuff after. But like we'll just have to see, kind of thing. What he ends up doing. Like, I don't know how much longer. I don't see JJK being like a really long series. Like it obviously is longer than most series now.
Yeah.
But I don't see it being like say a My Hero or something. That's my opinion on it anyway.
I mean, he's already on how many fingers now? So
yeah, I know exactly. Like he got such a big power spike this arc and stuff, and as you said, there's not that many chapters. There's not that many fingers left. Gojo, I'm so interested to see what happens with him. Like after this arc and during this arc, obviously.
Because when I first started reading this, you had the opinion that he was going to have to,
Oh yeah, because like it's kind of like, but then at the same time he's still alive as well. But it's kind of like the opinion most people had about All Might.
But maybe Mahito is just going to match his strength, because at the minute Mahito's just.
I think the only one that can match his strength really is like Sukuna, but then even then, I feel like there has got to be some kind of thing to beat Gojo, right? Like.
Yeah.
But then he also but then the thing is, right, we still haven't seen anything of Yuta and that, like, and
we still.
Gojo
this is the thing, is we
so
think it's going to end, and we haven't even seen any of the other kids from the school.
Yeah, and I feel like Yuta coming back because Gojo speaks so highly of him, and then obviously Yuji himself.
Maybe him and Yuji take over.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it. It's like, well, they said how there's like a prodigy almost in every year so far. So the ones that he feels could match him is Todo, Yuta, and Yuji.
Yuji.
So
deep for Megumi, but
yeah. But then Megumi seems to have something special anyway, because like the way Sukuna talks about
Sukuna
it,
took
and
such
what he done
interest in
anyway in this arc, like what he summoned was ridiculous. Like that curse that he brought in is like. It cost him a lot right now, but like that shit actually like kind of, I wouldn't say like it was a big challenge for Sukuna, but I mean it done more than anything else has.
It surprised him.
Yeah, it done more than anything else has.
It caught him off guard massively.
Yeah, so it is what it is. I told Luca to come back on two things, but he hasn't come back, so maybe we should just jump to the thing. I don't know whether to cover Burner, which is getting quite long now. So
yeah,
give it a miss maybe.
Maybe
because we're on about
we
an
could
hour
just say honourable mention.
Yeah,
we could just say that Yeah, I mean, for you especially for Burn the Witch.
Yeah,
which is something that we all read.
Yeah, I'll talk about Burn the Witch a bit. It's obviously a short series, but Kubo coming back, it was such heat. It was so good, and like the anime coming out alongside, and I fully believe we're going to get an announcement or release kind of date or time period for the next one at Jump Festa for the next series. I fully believe we're going to get it there. The fact that they already confirmed, like the minute it ended, they already had plans, you know. So
yeah,
and I feel like I hope they keep doing it the way they've done it, was with releasing the manga and the anime as a film at the same time. I hope they
that is good.
Even if it's like every other year or something, but then at the same time it's very short for like waiting that long, like the 4 chapters, and there's so much like in that series like that we got, you know, like in terms of like they added a lot of depth to it for a 4 chapter thing or something that's going to come out like very short, like things like the whole different divisions, the different characters like Bruno and stuff, you know. So yeah. So like, you know, that's what I mean, like by all the divisions and stuff. Like I don't know, like there's so much depth to that. Like them periodically releasing it's going to be weird unless they just explain so much of it in the next things, which they could do. And also how it all kind of connects to Bleachverse, I still want somewhat explained. I'm not saying give me Ichigo or anything, right? But just give me something. Like, like you know,
just explain it a little bit.
You tie it in with the 20th anniversary. You do all this. The 1,000 Year Blood War's coming back. Like you reiterate in the anime that from the one shot that it is indeed connected to Bleach. You gotta give me something.
You're a happy man.
Yeah, it's brilliant, but it's like you gotta give me something. You gotta give me like throw me a bone here, like just a little bit of a reference. But yeah, I enjoyed it so much. I'm so looking forward to next year, or like if it's coming out next year, I reckon it will. But yeah, as I said, I hope they stick with Studio Colorado as well. The one that done the anime, because that's fucking amazing.
Yeah, they were very good.
They were so good. They've done it such justice and done so many moments so good. I hope that they stay, and I hope it's like a yearly thing kind of thing. I'd take a yearly thing for something like this, you know. More Bleach / Burn the Witch content. Kubo's just, he's so good. I love Kubo's like work, his art and everything, and just some of the, like, I don't know, just so much about him, like his humour and everything, like in his series, just so good. Yeah, I hope we get more news about that in December, and I really enjoyed the series as a whole. Any kind of Bleach spin-off would be greatly appreciated, Shonen Jump, thank you. Even ones about the kids. But yeah, I mean...
But just not Boruto, like.
Not Boruto, no. But no, that concludes, I'd say, our bit about each series kind of thing.
Shonen Jump, yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know if Luke is coming back now. But
no, I think we've lost him.
But from here on, though, we'll do like a little verdict bit kind of thing for the end, like conclusion. Oh, no, he's back. But
sorry, I wasn't expecting you to DM me. I was expecting it in the group chat.
Oh, I messaged you on Discord as well. But no, don't worry.
We take excuses around here.
But now we're on to the verdict section, which we'll just talk about. We just done the Burn the Witch thing real quick there, Luca, only because it's getting a bit long and all that.
Yeah.
But the verdict, this section will be spoiler free, as spoiler free as we can make it, or it will be spoiler free, I think, for the series. So I'll go first just to make it quick kind of thing. This is my verdict for the year. Favourite character, Shigaraki, for the entire year out of all the series. Favourite chapter for the year is that's tough actually. The more I think about it, it's probably the One Piece one. What was that one? I think it was 967 or something. I can't remember now. It's got out of my head. But the One Piece chapter with you know who kind of thing, the one I mentioned in that section. And my favourite moment out of everything this year was, still probably my One Piece moment. So overall, I'd say my favourite series this year was One Piece. That's what I'm going with. What about you, boys?
For me,
yeah,
My Hero Chapter 285
Yeah.
character, Bakugo, moment, One Piece,
Yeah.
974, the end of that chapter.
Yeah. Same bit as mine.
So overall, My Hero wins for me.
Shocker. Man doesn't even let his bias side. Fair enough.
It's biased for a reason.
Yeah. It's very true.
I'm going to say my favourite... I can't really say anything. So my favourite chapter is probably my One Piece one.
Yeah.
Where the multiple things happen. I think it's 286. No, not 286. What one was it?
Oh, it's all about.
I can't remember what one it was.
One Piece.
Yeah, the One Piece.
Wouldn't be a 2.
Yeah,
it wouldn't be a 2. It'd be a 9 in that bitch. I was gonna say.
It's only because I went on the Shonen Jump thing and it was like the three chapters they've got at the minute for One Piece. Yeah, I can't remember what one it was, but if you listen to the One Piece bit, it would be that chapter.
Yeah.
And then my favorite character is probably the best character, not necessarily my favorite, Mahito, for this series.
Wow, this man in the JJK section wasn't even going to say it, but now he's like, yeah, it's my favourite character of the whole year.
No, he's not my favourite character of the whole year. He's the best character for this year.
Okay.
That's why I said he's not my favourite. He's the best, though.
Yeah, okay.
And then my favourite moment would be the one that I said in the Jujutsu Kaisen bit as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your overall series would probably be JJK this year?
Yeah.
So they've all got different ones. That's fair enough. They've all been fire. As we've said before, like all this year has been incredible for Shonen Jump. Last week was incredible, and like they're all in like their major arcs kind of thing. So all are fair, to be honest, even if they are a little bit biased, like Luca. I'm saying all this when I've chose One Piece for most categories.
Yeah.
But
it just goes to show, One Piece is all reliable and will be at the top for many more years to come.
Yes, probably. As long as Oda has my heart in his fucking hands. That's the thing.
My Hero and JJK are the future.
Sure.
So
this is it.
It's fitting.
Yeah. I mean, I hope JJK goes on for many years. I'm sure My Hero will. So, but yes, because this has already gone long enough, I guess. I hope you enjoyed our discussions.
We have to leave.
Yeah, we have to leave it there, I think. But
yeah.
I hope you enjoyed our discussions, our general discussions. If you want to hear us talk about this more, then please let us know. Please let us know your opinions for chapters this year. Try and keep it spoilers outside of this, because we still do want to read like Chainsaw Man and that. But if you enjoyed, say, Chainsaw Man and want us to check it out, let us know. If that was like say your favorite series of the year,
maybe just tell us your favorite character or something. So
let us know your opinions for Shonen Jump this year. Do you think it was that good? We think it was probably, for me, it was almost peak Shonen Jump this year. It was insane, like the amount of good arcs and stuff that come out of it.
3 major war arcs, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
every single one has had a major war arc.
I think I've said it in past podcasts with like Emon and that, but I haven't had a moment like this where 3 major arcs going on like this good, and especially because I don't even read the other series, right? But for me personally, like 3 big arcs, haven't had that since the big 3 time, like with Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. So for this is just insane. So yeah, this has been like a 10 out of 10 year for me for Shonen. I can't lie, Shonen Jump, this has been one of the best years for a long time. So I'm glad we started this channel and this podcast for that. But yeah, let us know your personal favourite moments of this year for Shonen Jump. Let us know if there's any series that you think we're kind of leaving out the loop, if you think we should check it out, and let us know there. If you did enjoy this week, then please consider subscribing, because we do this every Wednesday now. It could be subject to change because of how we structure our videos each week, every time seasons change and stuff. But so far we do manage to do a video once a week, a podcast once a week. So if you enjoy that, then please consider subscribing and leave us a like to let us know that you enjoyed it. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed us rant about our favourite series, and we hope to see you in the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.